Patna and its river of life. History's first references to a region of fertile agricultural land on the banks of the rise of the Mauryas in 321 BC, Patliputra turned into a mighty seat of power, the nerve center of the Indian subcontinent. Chandragupta and his tutor Kautilya made it an eminent seat of administrative and educational brilliance. Under Ashoka in the 3rd century BC, learning and scholarship alongside the principles of Buddhism received state patronage. After the Battle of Kalinga, Ashoka turned a new leaf. From Chanda Ashok, he became Dhamma Ashok and directed all efforts to promoting the light of Buddhism. Patliputra was named alongside Alexandria of Egypt as among the greatest cities of the world at the time. And many a literary and scientific legend emerged from these plains, ever washed by the spiritual Ganges. Post the Mauryas and the rise of a new Hinduism in North India, Patliputra took center stage in what was perhaps the most creative periods of Indian history, the Guptas of the 4th to the 6th centuries AD. Chandragupta I conquered Magad. Patliputra remained his capital. He adopted many of Ashoka's principles of governance. Samudragupta and Chandragupta II after him extended the empire to western and southern India. And Patliputra was the nerve center of a wave of architectural brilliance, literary thought, scientific and cultural revolution. In the mid-6th century AD, waves of inward migration by the Huns of China put pressure on the Guptas, and the city suffered for it. Historians see its glory as having crossed its prime. Like most of North India, with the fading of the Guptas and influx of foreign invaders, Patliputra too saw uncertain times. Muslim conquerors of the 12th century, Muhammad Ghori, Qutbuddin Aibak and Bakhtiyar Khilji extended the Delhi Sultanate to Bihar. Nalanda, one of the region's greatest treasures, was marauded, its legendary brilliance dented forever. The Mughals lent Patna a glimmer of hope. Sher Shah Suri, who hailed from Sasaram near Patna, revived the city somewhat in the mid-16th century. It is said he visualized a fort and a new town on the banks of the Ganges. All that remains of it now is a mosque built by him in 1545. Later, Akbar's Ain-e-Akbari refers to Patna as a centre for paper, stone and glass industries. Rice and the fertility of the Gangetic plain again find mention. The role of the Ganges towards making Patna a trader's haven lived bright then too. It continued as an international trade hub with the advent of the British in 1620. It bustled with purchase and storage of calico and silk, trading of saltpetre among British and European businessmen of the time. After the Battle of Buxar in 1620, Patliputra, now named Patna, emerged as one of the most important commercial and trading centres of the British East India Company. In 1912, Patna was made the capital of the new province of Bihar and Orissa, and the city's buildings took on a colonial look. The Clock Tower, Raj Bhavan and High Court, the old Secretariat, bear the pseudo-Renaissance influence. It was in the 18th century also that the British built this monument, the Golghar. The structure was built as a granary after the Great Famine of 1700 to keep such calamities in the future at bay. Ironically, its great walls never saw the practical use for which they were meant. All along centuries of history, that association with the Ganges, the river giving this city its economic, cultural and spiritual soul, has been so vital to the civilizations that have lived and faded alongside it. Indeed, its identity as a trade hub is attached so closely to the flow of the river here.